And those energy prices set to rise by 1.2% in January.
Should the government be doing any more to help? And what should you do yourself now, if there is anything you can actually do? It isn't always. Martin Lewis joins us now. He's a man who'll know if there is anything that you can do. So, Martin, I suppose, you know, on the one hand, 1.2% doesn't sound like a lot, but it's on top of the rise that we've already had. And I was reading this morning, there's forecast that there will be a further rise in the cap potentially in the next quarter of next year.
Yeah, so if we look at where we are, energy prices went up on average by 10%. The price cap rose 10% on the 1st of October. Then on the 1st of January, it's going up by 1.2%. In April, the current prediction is it will be going up by a couple of percent more, then dropping back slightly in July, dropping back slightly in October. But if you look at that in the round, that still means on current predictions, though the further out you go, the more it is crystal ball gazing, next October, you will still be paying more than you are right now, and it's already gone up. So over the next 12 months, we're expecting to see energy prices higher than they are right now. Now, you're right, the 1.2% rise, that means for every £100 you pay now, you'll pay £101.20p from the 1st of January, though prices are regional, so it really does depend where you live. This price rises by increasing the unit rates, the amount you pay for each unit of gas and electricity you use. They're going up by about 1.5, 1.6%. That's what we're going to see. But absolutely, we have not got... We're still at roughly a little under double what we were before the energy crisis, what most people were paying, because the lack of competition in the market means this energy price cap, which was originally introduced as a backstop for those who don't switch so that they weren't paying extreme prices, has now really, for most people, become the regulated price that you pay. 80% of homes in England, Scotland and Wales are on the price cap. Price cap doesn't apply to Northern Ireland. When we talk about it as a price cap, it isn't, of course, a cap on the total amount you pay. It's a cap on the standing charges and unit rates. But the vast majority of firms, standard tariffs, that's what's regulated, the default tariff, the tariff you go on if you haven't done anything or when your fix ends, the vast majority of them, they don't charge less than the cap. It's called a cap. They all just charge the cap. So really, it's a fixed, regulated rate that most people are paying. And it's going to be high for the next year.
So do we have to sort of mentally adjust to the fact that we're now paying higher for our energy? I mean, mentally adjust is one thing, but practically that's a very different matter. But is that where we are now, and should we fix?
Yes, you do have to mentally adjust, because I can't see anything that's going to bring it down substantially, at least in the next year and probably beyond that. As for should you fix, yes, it's the no-brainer. Look, there are some more sophisticated options. I could talk through tracker tariffs that are varying with time of use every 30 minutes. But for the vast majority of people who want a simple solution, let's be really plain. You can currently fix at 5% less than you're paying right now. That's the cheapest fixes available. So we're here. We're expecting prices to go up slightly in January, go up again in April, come down a little bit in July and down a little bit in October, but to still be higher than we are now. So you can choose to be on that variable thing where it's all high, or you can fix at 5% less than you're currently paying with an absolute guarantee that for the next year the rate will not go up. Now, for me, it's on the huge probability is that will both save you money and give you peace of mind. So I would strongly suggest to people you go onto a comparison site and you find your cheapest fix, because who your cheapest is depends on where you live and how you use. I would also suggest the comparison site you pick is one that is whole of market by default. The vast majority of comparison sites, most of the big names, they hide tariffs that pay them. So you want to go on one that is whole of market by default. And that way, you know, you will see all the tariffs that are available to you and not have hidden some of the cheapest, which because they're not paying the comparison site. But yes, should you fix? Yes, total no-brainer right now. You know, there is a very slight chance if we had this massive economic decline worldwide that energy prices might come down in an unexpected way. But it's such a slim chance, it's a no-brainer to be getting a fix. Of course, when I say a fix, it needs to be a cheap fix. You don't want to lock in at an expensive price.
Thank you, Martin. That's really clear. And I just want to ask you about another thing that I know you're really passionate about, which is standing charges. Dave has emailed in. He says, should we not be taking interest in standing charges as well as energy costs? Ours are over £1 a day for gas and electric. For low users, that could mean nearly half the bill is standing charges. You've been lobbying, I think, the Chancellor, haven't you, about all of this, or the Energy Secretary. Any word on how you've got on with that?
Well, you're quite right. Energy standing charges are a poll tax. We pay over £300 a year just for having the facility of having gas and electricity. That is a moral hazard that means people who have lower usage are disincentivised from cutting their bills by cutting their usage. It also is really unjust for the many pensioners out there who have gas central heating that they only turn on in the winter, that they're having to pay 30p a day just for the facility of having gas, even though they don't use it. I've long campaigned for it to be cut. And there was a consultation out by Ofgem that many people were hoping would be in this announcement today on what would happen to standing charges. It isn't there. I suspect strongly we will see that come out in the next 2 or 3 weeks. But I need to manage people's expectations that I am pessimistic. The consultation was looking at shifting some of the charge from the standing charge to the unit rate, the amount you pay for each unit of gas and electricity, which of course would mean lower users benefit, higher users would pay more. Now, I have often talked about the problem with this is, while I think that's what should happen, it needs to be done in concert with government protecting vulnerable high users, such as those who have dialysis machines or electric wheelchairs that need charging, people who are ill or disabled and have to have high use because of it. And we have not seen any sign of that coming in, the protection for vulnerable high users. And the two need doing in concert. So I am pessimistic. I think that Ofgem is unlikely to cut standing charges because the government haven't put in that protection. And I doubt it will feel it can cut them, because there have been so many representations from charities representing those people. I just can't see it cutting standing charges when it's going to leave vulnerable people paying more. So that news story will come out in a couple of weeks, I reckon, and I'll probably be on the show saying exactly this when that does happen. The one hope, and it was my suggestion to the consultation document, because I don't think it will directly cut standing charges on the price cap, and it's Ofgem who sets a standing charge, because it's the price cap standing charge everyone's complaining about and paying. The one hope, my suggestion is that we should have 2 price cap rates. You should have one that is low standing charge, high unit rate, and one that is high standing charge, low unit rate. And people, especially vulnerable people, if they're not going to switch, should be defaulted to whichever one is best for them. I think there is more chance of that happening, but it won't be quick, than Ofgem reducing the absolute standing charge that we have on the current price cap. So, no, look, I need to say that is presumption and assumption from me. I do not know what is going to happen, but that's me reading the runes of what I'm hearing in the marketplace and the submissions that went into Ofgem on it.
Fascinating, isn't it? Look, I mean, we're all, concerned about this, and we know that you're concerned about people that are losing their winter payments. But is there one word you can give us that's in any way positive, Martin?
But fix. Take some action yourself. Yeah. Stop letting energy firms rip you off by putting you on the price cap. Go take some action. Go do a comparison. Go fix.
OK.
Brilliant. Thank you very much indeed, Martin. Always a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you very much indeed.